Rev up your engines!
Now they're worrying that they're going to run out of pickup trucks to sell. People complain about everything, right? Oh, gee, we're selling too many of them. It's horrible. It turns out in May and June of 2019, there were 700,000 trucks in stock that people could sell. And that with the big sales of trucks last month in the United States, that by the end of June, they think they may only have 260,000 trucks in stock, where they had 700,000 in stock last year. Well, what the heck? There's still a lot of trucks, if you ask me. I mean, who wants to have them all sitting around collecting dust? You might as well sell them. Then they got to make more. They can start producing more trucks. I wouldn't really worry about running out of trucks. You're selling them, that's a good thing, not a bad thing. They can always ramp up production if they're selling them, you know. I kind of wonder why they had, I guess mainly May of 2019 and June having 700,000 trucks in inventory. It's because they weren't selling that well. More than anything else. It'd be kind of stupid to have all those things in stock. How do you know what color people want or what size they want? There's companies like Mini that they basically, you tell them what kind of a car you want, and there's like 10,000 different choices of every piece and color, and then they actually make it for you and you get it a few weeks later. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing it that way. So I wouldn't really worry about running out of trucks, but people like worrying about stuff, so it's another thing they can worry about. There's some more interesting news. Last month, people bought more trucks than passenger cars in the United States. I guess they're all getting ready for, you know, Road Warrior and the zombies with everything falling apart in society. They think it is, so they want some big trucks so they can get around. Last month, 186,000 plus pickup trucks were sold and only 169,000 passenger cars. So it's quite a bit more than the few hundred in England that was number one. People are still buying cars here in the United States and trucks. They didn't stop like they did in England. So people are getting more into trucks and less into cars. The virus probably just advanced that situation a little bit more to make it come a little bit faster than it would have before, which only makes sense. I mean, Ford's cutting all their cars out except for the Mustang, and then getting rid of sedans and making SUVs. There's more profit in SUVs, so of course that's what they're going for. But interesting that pickup trucks sold more than cars. You would have never said that when I was young. No one would have ever thought that would have happened in the whole country with people driving a lot of cars. But it kind of shows you how people are going away from sedans and towards bigger vehicles, which I guess with the price of oil as cheap as it is, and they say it's going to go on for quite some time, I guess you don't care if you got a big old truck that gets crappy gas mileage, because gas is going to be cheap for a while. Yes, the world is now officially insane. The Germans have now built a plastic camshaft module for cars. So now camshafts, solid piece of metal, open and close the valves, a lot of strain in an engine. Well, the Germans have now built a plastic camshaft module. Fraunhofer and the Mali Corporation, two German companies, worked together to make, yes, a plastic camshaft module. People have lost their minds. I remember decades ago, and it was a scientific magazine, and it turned out that someone, I don't know if it was Ford or not, thought they had built a plastic Pinto engine. Everything was made out of plastic, even the pistons, right? Well, guess what? After they ran it a while, the plastic all broke. It would either melt, it would break and shatter, and that's the end of it. Well, let's just say you got an engine, metal pistons, metal valves, and now you got a plastic camshaft assembly. Of course, it weighs less. Of course, it's cheaper to make. But what a stupid idea. They're using a fiber-reinforced thermoplast mold instead of a conventional metal casting. Of course, as anyone knows about plastic, it's cheaper to make for sure. It's all cured with heat. Sounds out soft plastic, then it's cured with heat, but I don't care what they say. There's no way that stuff's going to last as long as metal does. It's only common sense. And of course, the engineers say, well, look, the camshaft now is on the top of the engine because they're overhead cam engines. It's very important to have their lighter weight on the top so the center of gravity is lower. I don't care what's efficient. I don't want an engine made out of plastic. What a load of bull. What are they going to convince us now that, oh, well, your engine lasted a couple of years, then the plastic broke. Well, what the heck? Buy a new car now. Talk about planned obsolescence. And if you know anything about plastic, of course, it's so much easier and cheaper to make it, and it's simpler because if you cast metal, then you got to take it out, and then it's got to be polished and made perfect. The plastic crap is molded, and you can use it. All you got to do is break off the molding tabs, and you can immediately use it. That's why they use them on intake manifolds, because they don't need to port them. They're already ready to go and bolt right on. But an intake just sucks air and fuel in, right? It doesn't have a plastic piece ramming against the valves that are made out of metal. I mean, what a stupid idea. The Germans came up with another one. And being plastic, they say it reduces noise too. But hey, let's face it, you crazy Germans, you really don't hear the cam spinning inside your engine. You got to be a real fanatic to hear that noise. So here we go. The Germans came up with another brilliant idea. Plastic camshaft modules. Let's hope this thing doesn't take off and everybody else decides to start producing these in their cars to make them cheaper, so you got to buy a new one every so many years because the plastic cracked. Here we go. I guess the Brits across the pond have finally lost their minds. Tesla Model 3 is now Britain's best-selling car, the first time for an electric vehicle. Now, you have to take in consideration that this is during the virus. People aren't buying that many cars, so being number one isn't what it would mean if the market was full open. But for the first time ever, the electric car is the best-selling car in Great Britain. Now, you got to take in consideration that the second best-selling car was the Jaguar electric car, and because they're English, promote the Jaguar, which is really owned by China now, so really it's a Chinese car, but now comes the truth of the matter. As I said, you can't count this because to be number one, Tesla sold 658 Model 3s in a month. And that was number one. They're not buying cars in England. And the Jaguar for number two was 367. And number three was the Nissan Leaf electric car, which sold a whopping 72 models. So don't take this to think that they're all going electric. And it's a real big change. This is a unique situation where, yeah, it was number one. But if you had a car in the United States that sold 658 models in a month, and that was number one, it would pretty much be the end of the U.S. car industry. And the hilarious thing of that, even further, is 70% of these cars were sold to fleets, to companies. So they were actually bought by companies, not even individuals. So if you take that, only 30% of the cars sold that month were sold to private individuals. So it would really be a tiny amount of regular people that bought these things. But I suppose Elon will use it as advertising or something. Number one in England. Ariana says, Scotty, our frame air filter is good for my 2019 Honda Accord. How often should I change them? They're decent filters. Now, realize the original equipment filters are better filters. All these aftermarket companies, they make cheaper filters and sell them cheaper, but they are cheaper made. They do not filter as well. And today, it's kind of even got to a joke that the regular filter companies, they'll have an economy filter, and then they have they call a heavy-duty one. Well, if you compare the heavy-duty one to the original equipment, it still doesn't have the same amount of filtration on it. The original ones are best, really, because they filter better. Now, how often you should change it depends on where you live and how dusty it is where you are. Some places it's dusty every couple of weeks. Got to take the filters out, whack it on the fender, get the dust off, and vacuum it and put it back in. You want to check it maybe, 2-3 times a year just to see if it's all clogged up with stuff. Especially if you live in an area where there's a lot of bugs, and the bugs might get sucked in. You'll see the filters covered with dead grasshoppers. Just take a look at it. You can knock the dirt off or vacuum it a little every once in a while. They're generally good for 20, 30, 40,000 miles, but it depends on how dirty it is, where you live, and how far you drive, too. If you don't use the car much, it's not going to get dirty. NGA98 says, Scotty, greetings from Philly. I have a GM 3800. It's got oil leak between the engine and transmission. I think it's an RM's leak, or it's the oil pan gasket. How can I figure out what it is? Can I use AT205 to stop it? You can put dye in it, UV dye. I got a video finding engine oil leaks. Just put UV dye in, and then see where the green's coming out. Odds are it's the rear main seal. If it is, try the AT205. Change the oil and filter first so it's clean, then put that in, and if it works, then every time you change the oil, add it in. Otherwise, you're going to have to pull the transmission off. It's a very expensive job. So try it. The AT205 is just a polymer, and it just mixes. And it's very good at rejuvenating rubber seals. Doesn't do anything to gasket. If the gasket's leaking, you'd have to replace the oil pan gasket. But more often it's the rear main seal, because that spins. The crankshaft spins inside it, where the oil pan gasket just sits there, and they normally can last forever.
So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.